In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You are advised that any view expressed by the host or their guest are not necessarily the views of the owners or management of TogiNet Radio, Togi Entertainment, or the Owners Group, Inc.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio, live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the resources that are available in both the public and private sector. And we'll be sharing helpful information from women around the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother, both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio. And here are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I am here with my substitute, but no less wonderful co-host, Robin Boyd. You're coming to us today from New Hampshire.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Yes, beautiful New Hampshire, where all the leaves are starting to change.
Are you getting the fall color?
We are. We're in the southern part, and we have some blush in the trees, but just a tad north of where we are, it's really blooming up there. It's just so lovely. It's what fall's all about. But it's sweater weather even on a cool day. So
well, we have lots
like
of sunshine. We don't have one fall leaf out here in the ugly desert I call home. There's not one. I don't think anything's changed color. I don't even have any leaves out to look at. There's a maple tree that's about, 6 feet tall with 15 leaves. So
do you get some changes, though, in your part of California?
1 year, my property is fairly new, so it has all new trees on it, and, the kind that are held up with sticks. And 1 year, I did get, one of my maple trees, or I don't even know what kind of tree it is, but it looks like a maple leaf, and it turned yellow. And I, ran out really fast and took a picture of it. And I'm like, look, this is fall in California.
But you do get some cooler weather in your neck of the woods, don't you?
We do. I mean, it's getting cool now. My pool is, my pool cools down at night. It's about 50 degrees, so we jump in and go, woo! It's like, swimming in Maine.
And those polar really jumpers quick. Or whatever they are that go jumping in the ice.
Yeah, the Polar Bear Club.
Yeah,
the Polar Bear Club. Yeah, so it's funny that we talk about fall, and fall lends us to think about colleges and, everybody getting back into the education swing of things. We have a college a guest today that has an event at a college. Robin, where did you guys go to college in your family?
Well, I went to Endicott College, which is in Massachusetts, in Beverly, Massachusetts. My husband went to Daniel Webster College in southern New Hampshire. My son is at the New England Institute of Art. I always get this backwards. The Art Institute, the New England Institute of Art. There's two colleges, so I have to make sure that I say it properly. So, and my daughter had a couple of different schools that she's gone to for her career. She's doing some specialized work in makeup artistry. So we've kind of been at some various kinds of campuses, which is really neat.
It's really exciting. I mean,
Where were you from? Where did you?
I did my
master's.
Yeah, I did. I did my undergraduate and my master's degree all at the same university, all in one long, heartfelt, expensive program. I went to Northwestern University, and I went to Medill School of Journalism, and then I got my master's in advertising, business, specializing in advertising. So, it took me a decade to pay off my student loan. I'm not kidding.
Well, I think that's just the norm nowadays. When you look at the college tuitions, it's just outrageous. It's really hard. And I think that is what some kids face. Can I do this, and what am I going to do? Because once you're out It's really hard to say, oh, sure, I'll just get a job. Even just 10 years ago, you could say, oh, sure, you will just get a job. We'll be fine. But jobs are harder right now. It is a tough situation for kids.
Jobs are really hard to find right now. I mean, I look at some of the guys in my church, who have just graduated from college, and, it's very difficult for them to find employment. And even out here, like, we've got our bi-coastal show going, East and West Coast, the schools out here in California, the state system is fairly inexpensive, insofar as tuition and as opposed to private school, but the volume. And what's interesting here is I have friends of mine that go through the California school system, and they're like, oh yeah, the classes are closed out, I can't get into this, and it's so crowded. And Rick, where did you go to school? Rick went to Cal State Northridge, our segment producer.
Hi, Rick.
Yeah.
Didn't know he was there. Great.
Well, he's here. He's sitting across from me. He's working on our Army job today, so that's why he can't join us on the radio show or the chat, but we want to throw a hello out to his university as well. And Tina is off today. She is taking, I think, either herself or her kids to the doctor. There's all sorts of stuff going on over there.
That's really hard. She has her hands full. What a great gal she is. And she's down at Camp Pendleton, right? We should say hello down at Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, so we say, hello, Tina, we miss you.
Yeah.
But we're so glad to have Robin here today. And let's bring on our guest. She is the COO of Uproar Communications, and her name is Amanda Devoe. Amanda, are you with us?
I am. Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Amanda.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
We are so happy to have you today for many reasons, and I think the one that comes up, kind of near and dearest to mine and Robin's heart, is that you are a military mom.
Yes, I am. I'm a military wife. And I have two beautiful kids, but I also was prior military with the Air Force, but my husband is currently serving in the Army.
Oh, that is so fantastic. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it, because we'd love to know about our guests as well as the wonderful things that they're doing.
Oh, thanks. Sure. Well, the short of the long is I was in the Air Force, active duty for just about 6 years, and am currently in the reserves. My husband is in the Army. We actually are one of those stories where we met overseas while we were both stationed in Germany. He is one of those guys, he literally got into the Army when he was, his mom had to sign the paperwork at 17 to get him in.
Wow.
He's just about 14 months away from retirement. And for the last nearly year, I have been with the girls here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I am... As you said, I run operations here at Uproar Communications, and we are physically located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And my husband is stationed at Fort Drum, and he's with the 10th Sustainment Brigade right now. So he's finishing out his service over in good old Watertown, New York.
That's not far from my old stomping grounds. I grew up in Buffalo, and I worked at the Kalamazoo Gazette a few years ago.
So you know that area well.
I know that area. Are you kidding? I clomped around with, at pig farms and covering Upjohn and, you name it. I probably know more about Michigan than most people who live in Michigan.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, and I grew up not far from Watertown. Robin, you're not that far from Watertown either.
Well, New Hampshire's a little bit further, but, at least it's the eastern part of the country.
That's true. Well, I guess when I think close, it's like I'm, 3,000 miles away from you guys.
That's right, yeah. My daughter's not far from New York now, though.
Well, the funny thing is, too, Robin, my husband was born in Londonderry, New Hampshire.
You're kidding. That's just a
small world, huh?
It is a small world.
Yeah.
So Londonderry says hi.
Oh.
I'm actually in Hooksett. You can tell him I'm in Hooksett. He'll remember.
Okay, I will tell him.
That is so great. Now, how old are you girls?
I've got one who just turned 2 in July, and I've got another one who will be 4 on the 22nd of this month.
Wow, you got your hands full.
I do.
Now, how do you manage that when you have operations or whatever that you have to go on?
Well, honestly, the nice thing is I have a very supportive family here in Michigan, which was one of the big reasons that my husband and I decided when he got orders to Fort Drum, just to basically keep our home base here in Michigan, because I do have a nice support network here. We are actually a family-owned business, so myself, my mom, and my sister own this company, Uproar. And, with that, the beauty is I have some flexibility of crazy hours.
Wow.
So I can run things from home, after I get the girls put to bed, and all of you understand those crazy hours. So, but thankfully I've got, very supportive family members who help when I've got to go out of town, stay over and make sure that the girls have someone at home and it's not always a babysitter and that kind of stuff. And we've got a supportive community, but more than anything, I've got a family that is behind us and helping my husband and I get through these 2 years living apart.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult because you're going through what I go through on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I'm a single mom, so there's no one coming home. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but, that juggling, like when you answer a question, there's a song going through my head. When Amanda was talking, I'm like, dun, 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 dun. Watch her run from place to place and, juggling everybody. Because, Amanda, my kids are now 4 and 7, and I've been doing it since they were, a little over 1 and 3, and it's a lot. I mean, It's a lot.
Well, and I applaud you because I had no idea, and I think in a sense, being naive was a good thing going into this, to be honest with you, because, you just think, okay, we don't have a choice right now, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to make it a good thing. And but I have to applaud you because anyone who is doing it on their own, even with the strongest support networks, there are just those days that you just look up and just start crying,
True.
But yeah,
hopefully not on the air.
No, exactly. But you just, you know how it is. Then you get through it, and one foot in front of the other. So I'm just glad that we all have support where we need it, and the next day comes up with the sun. So.
Great. You guys, we are here at Military Mom Talk Radio. I'm here with my co-host of the day, Robin Boyd. We have guest Amanda Devoe, who's the COO of Uproar Communications. We will be going to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to learn about Amanda's involvement with Concordia University, specifically their Veterans Day event.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these.
Hi everybody, this is Pete Dix of Beatles and Beyond. Why don't we all come together and hear some of the tracks off the latest Beatles release on this radio station. Yes, why don't you look at the schedules on this radio station and join me and Beatles listeners everywhere to hear these latest releases from the Beatles on Beatles and Beyond with Pete Dix.
Mark Lipinski is coming to TogiNet. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski, a live 2-hour show Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. Creative Mojo. It's fun, entertaining, informative, inspirational, and illuminating. Lipinski has worked on such shows as Oprah, The View, The Joan Rivers Show, and Ricky Lake. He's busy, but he's got the drive to share with Creative Mojo, dedicated to the modern crafter and crafting lifestyle. Dive into the info and enjoy everything from celebs to entertainment news to recipes, quilting and needlework, knitting, painting, woodworking, Christmas crafts, and so much more. This show boldly encourages you to discover and harness your own creative spirit by living creatively every day. For more on Mark and the show, check out marklipinski.com. Don't miss the fun. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski. Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Hey, Military Moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, who is filling in for Tina Gonzalez. Welcome, Robin.
Hey, thanks, Sandra. Hi.
Oh, we had a fun first segment.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And
we send wishes out to Tina that
we do send
all's
wishes
getting
out.
better for her.
Yeah, we want to send also a note out to our listeners that the shows can be downloaded from iTunes for those of you who missed the first segment and are joining us in the second segment. And we have Amanda Devoe, who's the COO of Upwork Communications. She's also prior military, married to a military service person, and has 2 small children, and 2 and 4. Am I remembering that correctly, Amanda?
You've got it. You've got great memory, yes.
Wow, well, yeah, not usually, and I didn't write it down, so we'll just keep going from there. So we were talking a little bit about juggling motherhood and a career, and before we get into your involvement with Concordia University, Amanda, you talked a little bit about family support and that being integral in your, caring for your 2 girls while your husband's stationed in Watertown. And what intrigued me during the break was what you said about, that the day, like when you just, you do the best you can and there's nothing you can do but kind of like look up and cry. What advice can you give to our moms listening today who might be in the same situation as you are with their husband, sent somewhere else, they're managing the kids at home, and they may or may not have the family support that you do?
The first thing I would say, and it's very hard to do, is to acknowledge it and ask for help. Even if it's honestly the neighbor, whoever it is, even at my daughter's preschool, it's just letting people around you know that there's something going on, and even if they don't need to know the details, but I even just let my husband is supposed to deploy, and I just let my daughter's preschool know, her teachers, that there's a deployment ahead. And it was so crazy because I thought I was doing it to help my daughter, and really it was just nice to tell somebody else. My family obviously listens to me all the time, but just to let somebody else know and have someone look at you and just say, you know what, whatever we can do, let us know. But we'll keep an eye on Isabella is my daughter. And it's funny because being prior military and just in general, it is hard to acknowledge it. We're always among military spouses. A lot of times you presume that you're supposed to be strong. This is what we all signed up for. We should be strong and be able to get through it every day and all that. And I think sometimes if we just open our mouths and say, I need help today, that's my biggest advice. It's the hardest thing for me to do. But I think that's the one thing that does save me, when I can finally look up and say to someone, I just need help today, or in the next 5 minutes, whatever it might be.
Well, and it's hard. It's very hard for those of us who have a can-do attitude and we're used to doing without and taking care of everything, and more often than not taking care of other people. So when the shoe's on the other foot, I know for me particularly, I've had to work on it for like a whole calendar year. The idea of asking for help, it didn't come natural to me. I was used to being the one who would help other people out, and then, but what I found, interestingly enough, is that, I relied on my church, which is, Shepherd of the Hills out here. And through that church, I've made, some outstanding friends that have become, in my case, I don't have any extended family out here that I can lean on, or there's no mom down the street anymore to call, or dad to run up and watch the kids. And so I rely on the pastor and the pastor's wife and the pastor's daughter, and then obviously Rick, who works with me, I rely on him a lot. And but I've made friends through this church just by virtue of asking for help. And what's happened is that my kids are better for it because they don't have a strung-out, crazy mom. But, they also have, for example, Rick, who works with me, he's very heavily involved in music, and I like music, but the kids look at him and go, well, I want to play music like Mr. Rick someday. Or, they learn how to do things from their involvement with other people that I couldn't give them. And it was really such a surprising benefit, kind of once I opened my heart and my home and, people came in by virtue of having to help me, how much it enriched our lives and brought new experiences and new thoughts and new traditions into our family.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly how I was. I mean, you could mirror it. It's very difficult, and it's just not in my genes. Usually, it's if you gotta get it done, work harder or whatever, and sleep less and all that.
Sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, and but finally, when you do look up and say, I just need help, or even just throw the, this is bothering me today or whatever. It's amazing how many people are out there ready to help you, but surprisingly enough, you do need to ask for it, and. So anyway, I'm glad you're having that kind of experience too, because it has been wonderful. People have helped when we needed, thank goodness, But it's still something I work at every day too, letting people know, no, I really could use that, not always saying yes to everything, and trying to not overdo the schedule and all that. It's still tough.
It is very tough.
I feel like I need to be superwoman sometimes, most of the time, and you just can't be. There are only 24 hours in a day.
You know what I did at one point in time? I was going through some medical issues, and people would stop and say, oh, just let me know if you need anything. And right then and there, I'd say, can I have your phone number? This was a number of years ago, so email wasn't quite as prevalent. And I kept a list, and I would be able to go down and say, well, I haven't asked this person in a long time. Maybe this person could run to the store for me. It let me sort of ask easier because I didn't feel like I was calling the same person all the time, saying, neighbor Mary, would you go to the store for me? And feel like I'm overburdening that person by being a pest. And it was wonderful that people would offer. And when they offer, they usually mean it. They're not just saying that just because. They usually mean it. So, take them up on it. But I also had this little black book, if you will, of people's numbers that I just kept.
That's a good idea.
Like wrapping our mindsets too around, when you're, like clearly, Amanda, you're successful. Robin, I know you're successful. I've worked hard at being successful. We educated ourselves. We put off having children, at least in my case, till, later in life. I didn't pop them right out of the box when I was, 20 years old. And, I pushed myself really hard. So there's a failure thing that goes through my head that, I kind of have to battle with going, you're not a failure because you didn't pick up your kid from school on time. And, your neighbor picked, your child up. I mean, I know it's not, not the most popular. It doesn't make you the most popular mom on the block, but you have,
it makes me feel a little more normal.
Right. It's like, but I think we're so used to doing and going, and you as a CEO of a family-owned company, you got it going on. You're successful, and it's like, and then we get an earache, and somebody needs to go to the doctor, and we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and juggling everything, and it's hard not to have that mindset of like, well, all the other moms are doing this.
Exactly.
A teenager, but the other moms are doing this.
Yeah.
And not feel like it's a failure to ask for help, but the one thing I found too, and I don't know, Amanda and Robin, if you feel the same way, based on my requests for help, I forged friendships with some really outstanding women.
Oh, that's very true.
Maybe I would not have connected with, other than like, laying flat on the cement going, I can't do this on my own. Which is how I met Christy, who is the co-host on my motherhood talk radio show. We both were melting down the same day and became friends.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
No, I've had the same experience, but like I said, I have been lucky enough too, where I do have family, and they have stepped in and helped myself and really my husband. Obviously, he even knows, how much that they're helping me every day, and I'm very lucky for that.
Yay, go girlfriend.
Yeah. Yay.
So, all right, let's get down to business. Let's talk about your involvement with Concordia University.
Great. Well, the thing is, Upward Communications, actually, we're an ad agency. And we have been around 14 years or so, and we've worked with Concordia University here in Ann Arbor for quite a few years. And about 3 years ago, I ran into a gentleman at Concordia, and he had this little idea in the back of his head, well, I think it'd be a good idea if we ran a Veterans Day event here. And that first year, 3 years ago, it was quite just a basic event, really dealt with mostly traditional ceremony, recognizing veterans in southeast Michigan, but more specifically because it was so small, it was really Ann Arbor and the immediate surrounding area. And of course, because it is a passion of mine and because we are an advertising agency, I said, you know what, how about if we make this thing bigger? Because the deal is there is no Veterans Day celebration here, specifically in Southeast Michigan, that really celebrates veterans. I completely understand the need to recognize and memorialize those who have passed, but I feel just because I'm living it every day and I know so many people who are, I feel like we all need to celebrate the current servicemen and women, what they're doing every day, what their friends and families are doing every day to support them, and the event really from 3 years ago till now reflects that. We have now developed what is called the Veterans Day Celebration at Concordia University.
Now, that's the same name as the website, if people want to check this out. It's VetsDayCelebration.com, vets being plural.
You've got it. Yep. And Upward has donated our services entirely. We've got obviously, other members of Concordia have donated their services. We've got some nonprofit organizations who have donated their services to help run this event. It has grown into, basically, it's going to be from 8:30 in the morning until probably about 7 o'clock at night. It involves everything from a movie marathon to a job fair, a family support fair. We've got a lot of military support for static displays and that kind of stuff, helicopters and cool equipment for, the normal people who've never seen it before to come see. And then, of course, we've got the traditional ceremonies that will recognize, veterans who have passed as well as current veterans who are serving, and flag raisings and all that wonderful stuff. So it's going to be actually a fun-filled day. But, of course,
Amanda,
none of it
I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we do need to go to commercial break, and I want to give the listeners some websites to check out. If you want to check out Amanda's website, it's uproar.com, uproar.com. And for the event she's talking about is Vets, VETSDAY, celebration.com. I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we have as our guest today on Military Mom Talk Radio, Amanda Devoe, who is the COO of Uproar Communications.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. Girlfriended is on TogiNet. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, with your hosts Patty Wyatt and Lisa Jernigan. This show is your chance to share, learn, laugh, and connect with other women. The Girlfriended principle was born out of loss.
Lisa had recently had her mother pass away from cancer, and my mom was murdered. A man just walking into a room and started a 23-second shooting spree.
I think one of the things we both realized going through those tragedies that you can be extremely okay and be extremely sad.
Check out girlfriended.com. and then be a part of Girlfriended, the radio show. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central.
You know, your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, they don't totally understand that emotional side to women like another woman does. And I think that's so important just to have somebody that you go, she gets me.
Check out the website, girlfriended.com. Don't miss Girlfriended with Patty Wyatt and Lisa Jernigan. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Get ready for the Not So Soccer Mom, Tuesday afternoons at 1 Eastern, noon Central on TogiNet with Jill Hickey. You name it, from politics to pop culture to Jill's search for the perfect bronzer and chicken salad. The Not So Soccer Mom will weigh in on it all. The sentence, "I have no opinion about that," is one that Jill has never uttered.
Everybody loves Jill.
In the early 90s, Jill finally decided to put her thoughts, opinions, mom advice, love of pop culture, hummus, and Starbucks, working out, cosmetic shopping, and politics into an actual website, and thus NotSoSoccerMom.com was born. Shortly after her fourth child, a boy, Jerome, now she's really got tons of topics to share with you. This is Laugh Out Loud Funny, and we're not kidding. What's a loud Nebraska girl who lived in Little Rock for many years and now is up in the Northeast doing? Chronicling her opinions on everything. The wheels aren't off yet, but it's close. It's the Not So Soccer Mom with Jill Hickey. Tuesday afternoons at 1 Eastern, noon Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Courtesy.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I am here with my substitute co-host, Robin Boyd, who's calling in from Hooksett, New Hampshire.
Hooksett, New Hampshire. Yes.
Sorry, I was almost at Hooksett, New Jersey, but I didn't.
I think we're the only Hooksett in the country. I don't think we have another one.
So that was probably why the Simpsons chose to use was it Springville or Spring?
Yes.
You know, because it's like, I guess there's one in every every
exactly.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much with Hooksett.
No.
But we are here today with Amanda Devoe. She's the COO of Uproar Communications, and she's talking about the Veterans Day celebration to be held at Concordia University. And Amanda, before we get into some of the particulars of the event, let me ask you a few housekeeping questions.
Sure.
What day is the event?
It is on Veterans Day, November 11th.
And where is the event held?
It is at Concordia University in Ann Arbor.
And is there
Michigan.
a fee for this event?
Absolutely no fee. It's a come and enjoy the day for nothing.
Now, do you have to
Just
be a
want
military family to get something out of this?
Absolutely not. We would love people who have absolutely no affiliation with the military to come and see. It'll be an educational experience, and anybody who is out there, even just to support the effort, is appreciated.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Now, when you were speaking in the last segment, and I would encourage anybody who missed that segment to go on to iTunes and download our show, Military Mom Talk Radio, you were talking about how you took this original idea, along with the help of other people, I'm sure, but took this idea and started to expand it. And, you glossed over really quick, like, why you expanded that. And to me, that's one of the most important things, other than being a military mom and having a military background and raising your kids, on your own for 2 years while your husband's in Watertown, blah, 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 blah. You still have a vision to create this to be something spectacular.
Yes. Really, in our area at least, there has never been a Veterans Day event that celebrates those who are currently serving as the primary mission of the event. Most of the events that happen here, even across Southeast Michigan, memorialize veterans and are mostly geared to include just military members and their families, which is not a bad thing. But my vision was, because I guess it stemmed from the fact that I am like a lot of military families now. I am not living on post or on a base anywhere. I am living in Ann Arbor, which is, holy cow, quite far from any other military installation. And so, when I started reaching out, especially as my husband headed off to Watertown, to figure out those things that are pretty routinely on a military installation, like, where do you go to find out where our insurance is taken and that kind of stuff, just easy daily stuff. I thought, gosh, there's got to be someone I can call. And it was a tough thing. And so with this celebration, I thought, you know what, if we can make an event where we can take all of these groups that I've reached out to personally or I've heard about through business or whatever that support the military families who are actually sitting here in southeast Michigan, very far away from those installations. Everything from law firms who give free military advice, or free legal advice to military members, to, like the organization Homefront Hugs, who can reach out and help you find places that are military friendly, that support military children, that kind of stuff. I thought, gosh, if I could get this event where people can just come to one place and as many of those organizations can be present at this event, and then it would make it easier on the families, and we can actually make it where you can pick and choose and become educated in the area that you're actually trying to search out advice, in an environment that isn't scary because everybody's in one location and it's very convenient. I just felt like as I started reaching out, I actually found out there were a lot more community organizations and members and that kind of stuff in and around Ann Arbor in particular that support military families, and I just did not know where to look personally. And as I found them, I thought, well, I'm not the only one. I know the Guard here in Michigan has been tapped very heavy, and I know that most of the family members are here in the suburbs. They're not sitting out at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, or they're sitting literally in Ann Arbor proper, and they don't know, where they can reach out when their family member comes back. And boy, he or she seems a little bit off, and I don't know, can I call somebody, and is there an organization that could help because money's tight and I need help, but I don't know if I can pay for it. Anyway, long-winded end of it all is my vision for this event has been to make Concordia's Veterans Day celebration be a place where one time a year we can have a family support fair that involves as many organizations as possible here in Ann Arbor and southeast Michigan who support those family members of military, and include the job fair where I know spouses are definitely looking for jobs, and I know that there are Michigan companies that are trying to hire people, bring them all to one place, and then at the same time entertain them all with the cool things that the military does do, and make sure that they're made aware of also, some of the other things, like we brought in the movie marathon because I think it's one of those things that's going to draw a new crowd that hopefully can get a little bit more educated on what the military members and their families do every single day. So, in a very long-winded, roundabout way.
No, but that's, I really love that, Amanda, because it's very similar to what, we do over here at Military Mom Talk Radio. Without naming any base in particular, I happen to be at a base, and there was a bunch of moms talking about, PTSD and TBIs, and, they're holding a flyer in their hand to try to get information, and they were on base, getting this information.
Right.
And all I could think of is there's got to be a way, that we can put information up that's in a manner which people can access it anywhere in the world. So the Internet came to mind, and that we could cover a wide variety of topics and events and different groups that could help. And it, obviously lent itself to, Military Mom Talk Radio, and TogiNet's been fantastic, coming in and, sponsoring the show, as far as it's gone, and Motherhood Incorporated picking up the slack from this end. But it's that same thing of how do we provide information to these families, because we know the resources are out there, we know these groups are out there, but there's no one central location. And even when I go on the web and I look at the directories and these central locations that are supposed to be central locations, I get twisted around, tied in knots, and what you're doing is vital. It's important. It's valuable. And it's so funny because I'm thinking, wow, you're right. Every time I go to a Veterans Day celebration, it's all about the veterans who passed on, not to take anything away from them. But What about all the families? What about all the people that have served, including my dad, have served, and then, they're still walking around.
Yeah. And they're talk about history, generally those people, whether they're honestly 19-year-olds who've just gotten back from their first tour or in their 50s and 60s and served back in the day, it's amazing how much you can learn just chatting with them.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that's what this will be. Is my goal is that every year this event highlights, actually incorporates all of the nonprofits that we can who support military families and military members, but also highlights one of the local ones to try to also help them raise the awareness about their organization and try to help raise some funding for them as well. Because some of these, as you all know, some of the strongest organizations out there have actually been started by military moms and wives right out of their basement. And they really 100% take no salary. They just do it for pure passion. And they have evolved large programs that a lot of people count on. So I'm hoping that this will help give all of those organizations the exposure they need and also help the spouses and family members get to that door and be able to open it and get the information they need to help them to make life a little bit easier.
Now, Amanda, that part of your support fair that will be at your Veterans Celebration will have a lot of those sponsors there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We do have quite a few of those sponsors there, and they are all listed on the website, the ones who, with their links. We have more to come, thankfully, which is wonderful. But we are trying, as we're getting commitments from the organizations, we're trying to upload their links so it's a quick reference as well from the website, the vetsdaycelebration.com.
That's marvelous.
Well, and it's funny because, you guys talk about how, many of these, charitable organizations are started by, like military moms and military wives. And if you think like, Toys for Tots, which I've been involved with, for a long time, the Toys for Tots, which began in 1947, was because his Major Bill Hendricks' wife, Diane, she sewed a doll. And she asked, she asked her husband, Major Hendricks, to deliver it to a needy child. And then, that year they ended up distributing over 5,000 toys to needy children. And, you look at what it is today. I mean, Walt Disney designed the logo, and Nat King Cole, recorded the Toys for Tots theme, really big names. And it was just an idea in 1947 by a mom who wanted to make a doll for some little kid that didn't have one.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, and you look at where it is today. I mean, Toys for Tots is in, multiple countries. I mean, I know alone my company has facilitated the donation of over 25,000 toys to Toys for Tots. But, these organizations that are going to be at your Concordia event, might be grassroots. They might be small. They're just a kernel of an idea, but who knows where they can go.
Exactly.
All right, well, we got to go to break, guys. We are here with Amanda Devoe of Uproar Communications, and I'm here with Robin Boyd. This is Military Mom Talk Radio. We're going to go to break.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. Vision Onward is a mission. Vision Onward is passion. Vision Onward is compassion. It's God's power being shown in the world today with the guidance of the Holy Spirit through Jeff Holly and his family. And now, it's here on TogiNet, Monday evenings at 9, 8 Central. Vision Onward began over 3 years ago when Jeff and his family felt that after sitting in a church for years, they had come to a place in their faith where they were tired of sitting around and talking about their faith. They actually wanted to do something about it. So they decided to use their time, treasures, and talents that God had blessed them with to help those who have, by no choice of their own, been born into a world of poverty. So they walked away from the American dream, which they realize is actually a nightmare, so they can help others find hope in what seems to be a hopeless world. For more on Vision Onward, go to visiononward.org. This is truly a God-led adventure of the heart and humanity, making a difference for Christ. It's Vision Onward with Jeff Holly, Monday evenings at 9, 8 Central on TogiNet.com. It's time to capture the simple piece of the Amish in your own life. Amish Wisdom with Suzanne Woods Fisher, Thursday afternoons at 5, 4 Central. Each week, Suzanne will have conversations with guests about living a life that incorporates principles of the Amish without going Amish. She'll cover the practical, simplicity, slowing down, reducing clutter, putting the brakes on materialism. The historical, how have the Amish survived for 400 years? How can we hold on to what we hold dear? And the spiritual, treasuring important values, honoring the past, and increasing peace of mind. You don't have to become Amish to make personal peace a reality. Amish Wisdom will help all of us live a simpler life. For more information, go to SuzanneWoodsFisher.com. With Amish Wisdom, Suzanne offers us a glimpse into a world of peace, serenity, and total commitment to family and God. This show just might change the way you live your life. It's Amish Wisdom with Suzanne Woods Fisher. Thursday afternoons at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sail at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I am here with Robin Boyd, who is filling in for Tina Gonzalez, who's not able to be with us today.
Hi, Sandra.
Hey, Robin. This show has gone so fast, hasn't it?
This has gone so fast indeed, and I am just sitting back thinking, what an amazing thing this is to have this veteran celebration. Amanda, this is truly an incredible event. How many years have you done this?
This is the third year, actually.
We need to can it and copy it so that similar ones all around can take place. This is really true.
Oh, I would love that. I would love it if people just took it off and, put it in their own home community. It would be awesome.
Isn't that? Yeah, it would have to start with your event being the seed.
Of course, but we are happy to share.
Right, we want to do that. I mean, we want people to go to your website, which is uproarcom, COM, like uproarcommunications.com, and we want people to go to the Vets Day. What's the Robin? What's the
VetsDayCelebration.com, and that's Vets plural. VetsDayCelebration.com.
And we're going to throw the challenge out. I'm going to throw it out to Northwestern University because I think that they should do something like this, and I'm going to throw it out for Rick, for Cal State Northridge, and any of the other universities. Robin, you want to throw some challenges out?
Well, right down the street, I've got Southern New Hampshire University right next door to me, right here in town. So either that or our university system here in New Hampshire. I just really think we do have a wonderful National Guard organization up here, but I think we really need to put that challenge out there.
Yeah, we put that challenge out and say, come on, we want to honor, this is not, it sounds crass, but it's not dead Veterans Day. It's all Veterans Day, and we want to honor, like I think, Amanda, you said it best, really from 19 to 90. We've got guys coming back serving that are veterans who are 19 years old, and we know from doing the High History Project with Jeffrey Worthington that, we've got veterans dying at a rate of 600 a day that were serving in World War II. So we have the whole gamut of veterans to honor, not just our, and not to take anything away from our dead veterans, but also our living veterans and their families.
It's absolutely amazing. And believe me, if you're sending out that challenge, just have those people call me, because I'll help them. I'll give them that little shove in the right direction to get these events going.
And what is the phone number for Uproar Communications?
It's 734-975-8888.
So we make some noise, communication.
Make some noise. Let's go. Exactly.
Oh, so
That's where we got our name, Uproar. You got to make noise. You got to stir the pot a little bit.
That's right. So let's talk about, there's some really cool organizations involved in this event. Some of them benefit from your event, like Home Front Hugs, and there's a Remembrance Star that you had talked to me about. Let's talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. The Remembrance Star program is something that it's very similar to Blue Star Moms. You ladies probably know Blue Star Mom and the program. It is a program, though, we didn't want to take away from that group, obviously, but what we wanted here is a visual, something that, a symbol, I guess, that we could put out in the lawn of Concordia that would make people stop and just think. And what we decided on was what we call the Remembrance Star. And what it is a big old blue star. It's 18 inches in diameter. And we are asking the community to sponsor the stars in honor of the name of a military member who is currently serving or who has served in the past or who has passed away. And the sponsorship is $20, and then of the $20, $5 is being directly donated back to the organization Homefront Hugs. They recently moved their headquarters here to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they're in celebration of their 10th year of existence. Homefront Hugs is literally, Alessandra is the president of Homefront Hugs, and she literally started it out of her basement 10 years ago. Wow. And she has made it her mission to support the military members and their families throughout the year. Our goal this year is obviously to help her raise some funds to try to meet the objectives that she wants throughout the year to support the military. And obviously right now the need for those who are deployed and families who've been left behind and that kind of stuff is is huge. And so for them, we're hoping that that $5 per star will help. But also the Remembrance Stars themselves are going to be placed in formation in the lawns of Concordia a few days prior to the event so that those who drive by especially can see how many people are currently serving in Southeast Michigan or have served. And what we're even trying to remind people is whether you live here in Michigan or your service member who you'd like to honor is serving anywhere in the United States or overseas, if you would just log into the website and sponsor a star, we are going to be reading aloud all of the names the day of the event. And it's my goal that list is very long, that it takes us a long time so that people in the community, especially and attendees at the event, can realize really the impact of our military and make sure that it just, if it even just gives somebody a little bit of education that, wow, there are a lot of people who are touched by military members here in our community, then it will serve its purpose.
That is and I hope that you'll send me some pictures of the event, and we'll post them on Motherhood or Military Mom Talk Radio, and we'll also publish them on our Motherhood Incorporated blog, Motherhood Voice.
I would appreciate that. We definitely will send photos.
Yeah, because, it's like we talk on the radio, and it's such an auditory experience, and to be able to see some photographs from, kind of what went on. And I know, whenever, I was a little girl and we would go by Arlington, I was always struck by just the rows and rows and rows of little white headstones. It's so sobering no matter how old you are.
Right.
And, and to see those stars, I can't wait to see that. I just, I hope that people come out and are just flooding you with $20 bills.
I hope so too. We got everything organized on the website, and we're trying to make it easy on people. But I'm with you. I hope that people just rush to that site and get some sponsoring going, and then we can get those stars out there. And it'll just be. I think it's going to be a beautiful thing on the field, so that people can see. Wow. Just like you said, just like Arlington, it's just always amazing to me. Any of those symbols where it just does make you pause and think, and that's really what I want people to do.
It does, and you're so inspiring. I mean, I think of what you're doing, and yes, I know you have family support, but you are essentially with your husband stationed in Watertown, and you're in Michigan, so you're in two completely different states with Ohio in between you, Ohio and Indiana.
Yes, ma'am.
God, I used to drive from Buffalo to Chicago all the time, and boy, you're just in a part of the country that you're right, there's not a whole lot of support services immediately available to you like somebody on post. I mean, you've brought up so many great things for our moms to hear today and to talk about. And, I'd love for you to take a moment and if you could, give a message to any of the moms listening out there today who may or may not be in your situation. What would be the one piece of advice that you would give them, whether it be about, parenting through deployment or, being a working mom and, running a company while your husband's on deployment? I mean, what kind of advice would you give to our listeners today based on your personal experiences with Uproar Communications and the military?
Other than asking for help, I would say prioritize and allow yourself not to have to be 100% on 100% of the time. You've got to square away, even if it's 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes of downtime, just to take a breath and regroup and allow yourself to whatever that, whether it's chocolate, coffee, a good movie for 10 minutes, but a little bit of you time. And not everybody is going to be perfect every single day. And just to remind yourself that, you know what, sometimes just getting through that day is a good thing, and especially if you've accomplished most of what you wanted to do that day and everybody's healthy, and you got to keep smiling too. There's always something to smile about every day. So, but you know what? It is hard work, and I think sometimes just acknowledging that and saying it's just hard sometimes and allowing yourself to say that, it's okay too. And I think that's another really hard thing to do.
Well, I think, you've been able to share so much with us today and to give us such great advice. I mean, you inspire me to do better and inspire me to do more, and we've put our challenges out to the other universities that might be listening in today to see what you guys are going to do for Veterans Day.
And I appreciate that, ladies.
It must take a whole year, though, to put all of this together. They're probably not going to be able to put it to this year. You must start a whole year in advance.
We try to, but as you can imagine, as a volunteer organization, it is, I think the length of time tends to get a little longer than it needs to, but because it's amazing what people can put together. Obviously, even if they start with baby steps and just have a toned-down event, and it's a place to start.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's where we started 3 years ago, and thank goodness we've gotten it to this point this year, but and yes, definitely we take our time now and get started the day after the next event. We're prepping for the next one. But
awesome.
I say in your challenge, anything you can do is a good thing.
That's for sure. I want to make sure that we include the fact that we have all of your website information on our TogiNet show page. We have it on www.militarymomtalkradio, and we want to make sure that everyone remembers to log into vetsdaycelebration.com.
Thank you so much, ladies, for your time and for giving us this opportunity.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to call and bug Amanda Devoe, who has so much time on her hands to answer questions about
Do it. Call me. I would love to.
You want to give your number?
Sure. 734-975-8888. 888, and my extension is 209, so that gets you right into me.
All right, girls. Well, thank you for being part of Military Mom Talk Radio today. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm here with my co-host, Robin Boyd. Our guest has been Amanda Devoe, COO of Uproar Communications. She is the brains behind Concordia University's Veterans Day event that we hope is spectacular. We wish you guys the best, and we will check in with you again next week. God bless.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.